From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Aylia Batool. Health workers rally in Washington demanding urgent action as starvation grips Gaza. This and more in today's show. Stay tuned. The clanging of pots and pans echoed outside the Israeli consulate in Chicago as demonstrators joined the global Fast for Gaza protest on Thursday. The sound was a symbolic cry for help, highlighting the famine and starvation in Gaza. Protesters urged immediate international action to address widespread hunger caused by Israel's blockade of food, fuel, and essential supplies to the region since March. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry, Israel has killed more than 1,083 people and wounded over 7,000 while they were seeking food at aid points. A global coalition of health workers is calling on President Donald Trump to end support for genocide in Gaza. The organization Doctors Against Genocide rallied across Washington, including on Capitol Hill. Dr. Ashraf Abu Al-Ez said the group has been meeting with U.S. lawmakers monthly, but Gaza's starvation crisis demands urgent action. He said people are dying by the minute and called on Trump to stop the genocide now, not tomorrow. Infectious disease expert Dr. Roxana Samini said American tax dollars are fueling Israel's atrocities. She said the world is watching starvation used as a weapon, which must end. The group has also protested at the Egyptian and Israeli embassies, urging immediate humanitarian access to Gaza. The Justice Department, or DOJ, is suing New York City and Mayor Eric Adams over the city's sanctuary policies. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the laws obstruct federal immigration enforcement. She warned that if city leaders won't act, the federal government will. The case is filed in the Eastern District of New York. It targets local laws and NYPD policies that allegedly block immigration agents. This follows a similar lawsuit filed earlier against New York State. The DOJ claims these sanctuary rules violate the Constitution and put public safety at risk. A new analysis warns that the Republican tax law will raise taxes for America's poorest families starting next year. The Nonpartisan Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy says the bottom 40% of Americans will lose key tax credits and face higher costs. Low-income families will also be hurt by cuts to Medicaid and food stamps. Health insurance premiums will spike as expanded tax credits expire, affecting nearly 20 million people. Approximately 4.2 million could lose health coverage. Tariffs pushed by President Donald Trump may further strain household budgets. Meanwhile, the richest 1% will enjoy $117 billion in tax cuts, more than the bottom 60% combined. Analysts say foreign investors will benefit more than struggling Americans. In Jacksonville, Florida, a viral video from February shows police punching a 22-year-old black man during traffic stop, prompting multiple investigations. William McNeil Jr. posted the footage showing an officer breaking his window and hitting him after he asked for a supervisor. Police claimed he ignored commands and reached for a knife. McNeil denies this and says he was just scared. Civil rights lawyer Ben Crump calls it a textbook case of what has been called driving while black, referring to the practice of police racially profiling African Americans. Crump urged the sheriff to fire the officer. McNeil suffered head injuries, a chipped tooth, and memory loss. He was charged with marijuana possession and resisting arrest, and later pleaded guilty to 2 charges. The officer involved has been relieved of duty. The case comes amid long-standing concern over police violence. Similar incidents in Alabama, Oregon, and Cincinnati are fueling national calls for law enforcement reform. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has blasted Republicans, calling them the pedophile protection party after GOP leaders dodged a vote to release files linked to child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The House had been set to vote on a Democrat-led measure demanding public access to Epstein's records, but Republicans abruptly ended the session and left for summer recess. Speaker Mike Johnson denied the move was to protect President Donald Trump or other GOP members. He accused Democrats of playing political games. The vote to release the Epstein files narrowly failed last week, 211 to 210, along party lines. Despite this, some Republicans appear open to further scrutiny. Democrats say the public deserves to know who was involved in Epstein's international sex trafficking network. Omar and others are pushing for full transparency. They claim the GOP is blocking the truth and shielding powerful figures. At a UN Security Council meeting, Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar calls for joint action against growing Islamophobia. Details come up next.
Muna Convention 2025 is coming, and you don't want to miss the event of the year. With over 25,000 attendees, it's one of the largest annual gatherings of American Muslims. This isn't just a convention, it's a celebration of faith, learning, community, and inspiration. Join world-renowned speakers. This is your moment to reconnect, reflect, and be inspired. From youth programs and college sessions to daycare, Quran competitions, and talent shows, there's something for every member of the family. Shop the Bazaar and Expo with over 200 vendors, featuring faith-based products, books, gifts, and cultural treasures. Visit municonvention.com to register now. Spaces are filling fast. We can't wait to welcome you.
Welcome back. Hospitals in Gaza have recorded 9 new deaths due to starvation and malnutrition over 24 hours. This is due to Israel's continuing blockade of food, fuel, and other life-saving supplies since March. This raises the total number of starvation deaths to 122, according to the region's health ministry. In southern Gaza, desperate families rushed to receive hot meals as a charity distributed food in Khan Yunis. Displaced Palestinians, many with children, gathered in Al-Mawasi, forming crowds with empty pots. The aid came amid a deepening humanitarian crisis caused by Israel's ongoing blockade. Since resuming attacks on March 18th, Israeli forces have killed at least 8,447 people and wounded more than 31,000, breaking a previous ceasefire and prisoner swap deal. The worsening conditions have left many Palestinians struggling to survive in makeshift shelters with little food or water. Israel killed at least 89 Palestinians and injured 467 in attacks across Gaza in the past 24 hours. Among the dead is Hamas intelligence official Amjad Sher, who was killed by an airstrike in northern Gaza. Israel also bombed a school sheltering civilians in Gaza City's Al Rimal area, killing 4 and wounding several others. Separate strikes hit aid zones, civilian gatherings, and vehicles in Khan Yunis, Rafah, and Gaza City. 4 were killed in Sheikh Radwan. In Al Tufa neighborhood, 3 died in a targeted car strike. Israel shot a woman near an aid center in Rafah. UNICEF warns that Gaza will run out of life-saving food for malnourished children by mid-August. Meanwhile, Canada has accused Israel of violating international law. France says it will recognize Palestine at the UN in September. Since March 2nd, Israel has enforced a total blockade on Gaza, barring entry of food, medicine, and humanitarian aid. The United Nations says the famine in Gaza has reached the 5th and final stage. It says Israel is blocking its 6,000 trucks waiting on the border to deliver supplies to Gaza. Israel's genocide in Gaza has killed more than 65,000 Palestinians since October 2023. The majority of them are women, children, and the elderly. More than 143,000 have been wounded since October 2023. 10 Palestinian teenagers between the ages of 15 and 18 were released after nearly a month in Israeli detention. They were captured near the Al-Shakush aid zone in Rafah. Transferred to Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis by the Red Cross, the boys showed clear signs of physical abuse and exhaustion. Doctors say the minors had visible bruises and signs of severe physical abuse and suggest sustained mistreatment during their detention. One teen, Karam Hamdi Hussain, said they were beaten daily, forced to eat rotten food, and held with their hands tied. He called the so-called safe zone a trap. The teens were detained while trying to collect food. One boy, Omar, was so weak he could not speak. Hussain said some children are being held in Israel's notorious Sidi Temmen prison, known for harsh conditions. The teens' release adds to growing reports of Israeli abuses at Gaza's aid points. UN officials recently warned that getting food in Gaza has become a death trap. Pakistan is calling for stronger cooperation between the UN and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or OIC, to fight what it calls an alarming resurgence of Islamophobia. Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar made the appeal during the UN Security Council meeting chaired by Pakistan. The session focused on enhancing ties between the UN and regional bodies like the 57-member OIC. Dar stressed global extremism, especially religious hatred against Muslims, threatens peace and violates the UN Charter. He said such hate is morally unacceptable and urged joint efforts to promote respect and interfaith harmony. Founded in 1969, the OIC works to address issues impacting Muslim communities worldwide. Former Chief Minister of Indian-occupied Kashmir Farooq Abdullah has condemned India's 2019 revocation of the region's statehood. He described the move as illegal and urged its restoration. India revoked special status and annexed the region on August 5, 2019. It also dismembered the state into 2 centrally administered territories. Speaking at a Statehood Now event in India's capital, New Delhi, Abdullah said the action deepened a decades-old trust gap between Kashmir and the Indian government. He accused the authorities of trying to force Kashmiris into submission and reminded them that statehood is a constitutional right. The event called for restoring dignity and autonomy to the region. A Canadian fintech firm is opening new doors for halal investing in the U.S. Manzil has partnered with the US-based alpaca trading platform to launch Manzil Invest USA. That is a digital platform offering Sharia-compliant investment options tailored to American Muslims. The platform allows users to build halal portfolios using pre-screened, ethically approved stocks following Islamic finance principles. Experts say only about a third of S&P 500 stocks meet these criteria, limiting Muslim participation in the market. Manzil's goal is to make investing simpler and more inclusive. The app now is available on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Manzil hopes this move empowers millions of American Muslims previously left out of the stock market. Scientists in Denmark have used artificial intelligence to create custom proteins that supercharge T cells to target and kill melanoma cancer cells. The AI-designed proteins act like a GPS, guiding immune cells to their cancerous targets, similar to Google Maps for the body. The team used 3 AI tools to generate and test thousands of protein designs, narrowing them down to one that works in lab tests. The engineered T cells rapidly destroyed melanoma cells and stopped tumor growth in lab dishes. Though still experimental, experts say this method could someday revolutionize cancer care and may extend to other diseases. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.